All right, I think we can go ahead and get started. So welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining this research opportunity, recommending products, brands, and lending opportunities. This is sponsored by Wharton AI and Analytics for Business and Intercorp. The agenda for today, we'll go through some introductions. We'll hear from Intercorp, Ivan and his team, the research opportunities associated with the project. We'll learn about the data in some amount of detail, accessing the data, how will that take place, and then the research proposal and application process, and we'll allow some time for questions. So my name is Brandon Krakowski. I'm the Research and Education Director at AIAB. We also have Jamie Sampers. He's the Associate Director of Data Science and Research. We have Jaden Decopoulos. He's our data scientist. And we have Mary Perk, our Executive Director. I'll hand it over to you, to Ivan Herrero at Intercorp, to introduce yourself and your team.
Thank you, Brandon. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ivan Herrero. I'm the Chief Data Officer of Intercorp, and I'm here today with you with Gustavo Chupanqui, our Corporate Customer Intelligence Manager, and Renzo also, who is our Head of Data and BI for Intercorp Retail, which is a part of the whole conglomerate, which is focused on the retail business.
Okay, thanks so much. Welcome. Just a few operational notes. This webinar is intended for researchers and scholars. It should not be published or presented without permission from AIAB. Questions about our research programs or for press inquiries, you can email us at aiab-research@wharton.upenn.edu. To work with AIAB and Intercorp, research teams must submit a proposal for approval. More details throughout this presentation. If you do have any questions throughout the presentation, go ahead and click the chat button, type your question. We'll address questions towards the middle and then again towards the end, either live or we'll follow up with on particular questions with particular researchers via email after the presentation, if we don't get to all the questions. So now I'm going to hand it back over to you, Ivan, to talk a bit about Intercorp, the context for this project, the research opportunities, and the data.
Okay, thank you, Brandon. Well, Intercorp is the largest Peruvian conglomerate. If you go to the next slide, please. Yeah. Something that I think it's important for you to know about Intercorp is our purpose.
Purpose is
yeah. Our purpose is to make Peru the best place in Latin America to raise a family, and this is something that we live and breathe every day. And to achieve something as ambitious as our purpose, something is wanting to do so, and another very different thing is to be able to do so. But we are really positive about the impact that we can make in the quality of life of Peruvian families, because we are quite large. We operate in different sectors, such as in finance, where we operate a bank, an insurance company, some payments processors, in retail with different flavors, such as supermarkets, department store, malls, home improvements, in healthcare with a couple of pharmacy chains, clinic and a pharmaceutical distributor, in education, all the way through schools, high schools, and universities. And we also operate some companies in the entertainment sector, such as hotels, restaurants, theaters, and so on. So we are very diversified in the sectors that we operate in, and this gives us an unparalleled opportunity to understand Peruvian families and their interests, their behaviors in the different touchpoints that they have with our different companies. But as you can see here, very focused in Peru geographically, but with a very large footprint. You know, our footprint spans all over the country. We are more than 20,000 employees, and we try to work as one group. But as you might think, this is not something easy to do. But as the chief data officer of the group, one of my main goals is to enable this unique opportunity and this single view of our customers across all our different companies. So let's jump into the approach that we've taken to build the single customer view. And this has taken us like almost 4 years to be here where we are now. I joined the group in December 2018. And just to give you a brief understanding, a couple of years ago, we didn't know how many customers we served a year. So this has been an amazing journey from 2019, when we started to think about how we could design a platform which will enable us to gather the data from the different companies and in a similar way, and being able to not just gather the data, but also analyze it in an efficient way to better understand our customers. And in 2020, we managed to have the first single customer view of the retail companies. Then we aggregated information from our insurance company. Then we aggregated also information from the digital channel from our e-commerce platforms. And within last year, we managed to bring also the information from the bank and from the schools. And lately, we've just recently included information from our cinemas, and there are some other companies that are on their way to integrate their customer data. And so these totalize about 22 million customers, and we know that these are actual customers and actual persons because we've been able to cross-check the identifiers with public bases. In fact, we have more identifiers than 22. We have around 27 million different identifiers, unique identifiers, but we know that around 22 million of them are related to actual people. And attached to those 22 million customers, we have almost 2 billion transactions and around 3 billion web events. There it is. So this is huge, as you can see. We have a lot of information, but we are always wondering and asking ourselves, so what? This is not something that we want to do just for the sake of gathering information, but we want to use this information to make an impact, both for our businesses and for the Peruvian families that we serve. And the first thing that we have to do is to translate this very transactional, very granular data into something that's more meaningful about our customers, something that help us better understand our customers, their behavior, their life cycle, their interest. So that's something that we've already been working on for the last couple of years, trying to infer these human, more human features from the transactional data. And you one more, please. Yeah. So we built around 5,000 attributes today, but many of these attributes are still transactional. The kind of filters that you build when you want to build to develop a predictive model. So we have the transactional behavior of each customer for like the maximum expenditure for the last month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. So we have this kind of aggregations of the different transactional behavior of our customers. And we also have developed some segmentations at each company level. But now we want to go to the following level, and I am very sure that with your help, we're going to achieve very successful results out of these research opportunities. The first one is that, as I said before, we've been trying to transform this transactional information into something more related to human features, such as the behavior, the changes in behavior, the interest, family size, some demographics, but I know that there's so much to do. We have a lot of things to do yet in this field, and once we have these attributes that can describe the interest and the characteristics of our customers, then we could use them to build lifestyle segments and bring actionable insights for the business, and also use this as inputs for recommendation engines that we can develop on top of the different companies. So now we have some recommendation engines working at the company level, but we want to go one step ahead and start working at the cross-company level in this kind of analysis. The second research opportunity is very related to the financial sector. And I think it's important for you to know that in Peru, the unbanked population is a huge part of the total population. We could be saying that between 70% to 80% of the total population in Peru has never had a relationship with a formal lending institution. So, and this is due mainly because the formal banks, the formal lending institutions don't have any information about this population. So they are unbanked, and they remain unbanked because there's no way the companies that should be lending money to them have any information from them. So the risk is too high, and the risk models are almost only based in the previous payment behavior. So if you don't have any payment behavior, it's not possible to have a credit in Peru. And the main sources of information a lending company wants to understand from their customers, from the potential customers, is their income, so their ability to pay, and their credit risk score, so the willingness to pay. And I've seen the income prediction. It's very obvious that we should be able to better predict or infer the income of someone by their transactions, by understanding how they transact in the supermarkets, for example, or in other retail stores. And about the credit risk, I had the hypothesis that by understanding the behavior, the transactional behavior of some customers, we could infer the credit risk. And I gone through some research papers that have already proven this right. So I'm very positive that there's a lot to achieve in this field, and this will be a game changer for the Peruvian lending market and for the Peruvian and bank population. I think we have a lot of expectation there. And the third research opportunity is how we could optimize the use of product-based discounts with credit card. We have a credit card which is very it's very tightly related to our retail stores, or retail companies. So and this works with the credit card gives away some exclusive discounts if you buy some products with the credit card. But again, we think we have a lot of a huge opportunity here because as we've gone through the historical data, it seems there's not much correlation between the spending in exclusive discounts and the behavior, the payment behavior of our customers. So probably this could be a quick win for us to capitalize based on understanding how our customers behave, what they like, and what's the best way to make them loyal, but in an effective way. And well, let's jump to have some understanding about the data that we have. As I said before, the quantity of data that we currently own, probably, I'm pretty sure this is probably the largest customer database in Peru and probably in many countries, at least in Latin America, expanding more than 12 billion rows, more than 16 terabytes of data, and this is updated every day. So we have huge amount of data. This data is processed, so it's going to be easy for you to work with this data once you are familiar with it, and it's organized in 20 tables, grouping 14 data domains, and all of these tables share the same field, this customer ID that you can use to join the different tables any way you want. And talking about the domains that we are going to talk about briefly. Now we have information about the customers, products, promotions, sales, web sessions, information about our insurance company, vehicles, demographics, financial behavior, payments, retail, and some digital behavior. So let's jump to the main table so you can have a brief overview of them. Talking about customers and products, we have, well, before going deeper into each table, let me explain you that for each table name, you're going to see one letter or a couple of letters at the beginning of the table name. For example, here you can see an M. This means this is a master table, or a C, which is a catalog table, or we could also see BA, which is a business analytics table. So this has a business analytics table is something that has already aggregated data. The catalogs are just catalogs. Master tables are tables that are already like haven't been processed mainly. They just have the raw data, but in a structured way. And then we also have tables starting with T, which means transactions. So it has all the transactions applicated. Going well with the promotion. Well, before we saw he had information about the customers, products. Here we have promotions, and you can match promotions with customers, with products, and with sales. For example, in sales, we have information about all the details of the transaction, but then you can also match the transaction to the place where it was performed, no? To each of the different locations, the different stores that we operate. Then we have information about the detailed behavior of our customers in two tables mainly. One which gathers all the different sessions, and another one which gathers information at the event level. So we have all the granularity, all the clicks, all the events that were triggered by our customers in our e-commerce platforms, and then we have the sessions which is more aggregated data. We also have information about insurance policies, the amount that our customers are paying, if the insurance policy is life insurance, travel, vehicle. So all the details that you may want to know about the product that our customers have active in our insurance company. Information about the vehicles that our customers own, some demographics, age, where they live, if they're married or not, the education level, and so on. We also have information about the financial behavior of our, not only for our customers, but also for the whole bank population, which is around probably a third of the global, the total population in Peru. So we can see not just the current debt for each product, but also how this debt has evolved during the last 2 years, and if they're paying properly in time or not. So there's a lot of information regarding the financial behavior of our customers and of our non-customers. And then these are some aggregated data tables. As you may see, they are they have the prefix BA, so this means business analytics. So here you can see aggregations by different grouping to make it easier to use some data. So you don't have to mess around just with the transactional data. We already have a lot of attributes that are already built, so you can work directly with them instead of starting just from scratch. And this is the same. We have the master table with the sessions and the events, and here we have an aggregated table where we can see which products each customer viewed in the different e-commerce, which products were added to the cart, were purchased, the kind of device that each customer used when interacting with our e-commerce platforms, and so on. So, well, this is a brief overview of what Intercorp is and the kind of data that we've been gathering and putting together during the last couple of years. So if you have any question, I'm more than happy to answer, but I think that's going to be by the end of the presentation. or is it now done?
Yeah, we'll take some questions now. If anyone has a question, go ahead and
Okay.
send a chat. I have a few questions of my own if there aren't any that come in the next few seconds. Well, while we're waiting. So, and maybe you mentioned this, what is Intercorp doing currently to predict customers' income and or credit risk? Are you doing anything in that area now, or is this completely new?
Yeah, we've worked together with the bank and with the information we have at the corporate level, and they found some very interesting signals and some improvement in the better assessing the income of their customers. But I think we are just scratching the surface there.
Okay. And then I think I saw this on one of the slides in terms of how many years of data that you have available. Is that 2018 to 2022?
We have, I think, for most of these tables, I think we have information for at least from 2018 or 2019.
Okay. I have one more question. The credit card customers, the customers that have credit cards, that's a subset of the entire customer base? And if so, how many customers actually have credit cards?
Yeah, we have two different credit cards. We have the credit card which operate giving away discounts in our retail stores, and then we have the different credit cards that are managed by the bank, and we have around 1 million customers for each credit card, and the common customers between these two credit cards is around 30%. So there we have like around 1.5 million unique customers using credit cards across the world.
Okay. Thank you. We do have a few questions that came in. Well, let's take one more question right now, and then we'll keep going, and we'll take more questions at the end. Here's an interesting question. Can the customer data be connected to census data or other economic data? I'm not sure if that's even necessary, but is that possible? Publicly available data?
Yeah, in fact, we've done something like that. We have some information from the census and from some public surveys, and we still haven't merged the information at the customer level. We have the information at the district level, but we are working to have the addresses transformed into coordinates, so we can match that information from the census at block level.
Right. So that's not included in the data set now by default, but
that is not
provided
now. But I hope we could have something. I couldn't give you now a date, but surely during this year, hopefully during the first quarter, during the first half of the year.
Okay. All right, thank you. Let's keep moving. We'll take more questions later in a bit. Let me go through the details of the data access. Not a ton of details, but the research teams will have full access to the data. That's going to be useful for the analysis. You saw an overview of all the tables and the kind of massive amount of data that's going to be provided by default. It'll be made available via the Google Cloud Platform environment, which is known as BigQuery. Researchers who are selected will be granted access to that environment. I'm going to go through the researcher proposal and application process and the timeline. So in terms of the format, so researchers will apply and submit a proposal online. We'll have a form set up by the end of today or by Monday. Proposals should be in a PDF format, no more than 2,000 words, and include the following information: title, author's name, title, affiliation, and email address, contact information, author bios, an abstract, and some summary information. So a single slide that visually summarizes your team and your project. An introduction, so describing the expected contributions, including both academic and practical aspects of your research, a detailed project proposal, any supporting detail that will help us assess the feasibility of your approach, and its compatibility with existing data, any additional data needs that may not have been outlined, so a bulleted list of data that would be required or nice to have for your analysis. So obviously we can't make any promises, but something like the census data is a good example. So if that's something that you're looking for as part of your research, you can include that in your proposal. And then any languages or tools, so what you propose to use, how it fits with the project. At this point, I don't think there's any restrictions on software or tools or programming languages. How to apply. So this is the main web page for this project on our website. There will be a form there for you to submit your proposal well before March 12th, but it'll be due March 12th by 9 a.m. Eastern. Feel free to contact us at aiab-research@wharton.upenn.edu if you have any questions prior to submitting your proposal. No problem fielding questions about the project. In terms of the selection process, so multiple research teams will be selected for the opportunities outlined. In 2 weeks, a little more than 2 weeks, the proposals will be due. In 9 weeks, the teams will be selected and notified. In 12 weeks, the projects will kick off. Research teams will meet regularly with AIAB and Intercorp throughout the project. And in 12 months, about 12 months, research teams will present their findings directly to AIAB and Intercorp. The proposals will be evaluated based on academic contribution and the researcher's ability to address issues of strategic importance to Intercorp. The researcher's willingness to share all code and findings with Intercorp, and the researcher's history of academic achievement. The teams will be selected jointly by a committee of academics and representatives of Intercorp's analytics team. So that includes our 3 faculty co-directors, Kartik, Raghu, and Sunny, and then representatives of Intercorp's team, so Ivan, Gustavo, Renzo, and then we'll have some other external academic reviewers. We can take more questions now if you have them. I see some have come in. I can go ahead and read those as they come in. Any questions at all about the project, the research opportunities, Intercorp, and then of course the data, if you have any questions. Here's a question. Are the product discounts offered to customers part of a joint program with some manufacturers, or are you doing this independently? If it's not a joint promotion, what is your motivation to offer discounts?
It is, well, we have promotions that are part of the commercial strategy of the supermarkets, for example, and they might be like taken from the commercial budget, or they could be joint promotions with some of our providers. But the challenge that we want to work on here is related to the discount, the exclusive discounts that we give for people who use our credit card for paying those products. And the reason that we're giving away these discounts is to increase the participation of the credit card in our retail stores. And this has 3 benefits. First of all, if they use our credit card, then we don't have to pay. It's a Visa or a MasterCard credit card, but the supermarkets don't have to pay the merchant fee. So, but the more important thing is, as we have, as we increase the use of the credit card, it becomes more useful for the customers. We have, they have an incentive on using it. So then normally they don't pay everything they buy by the end of the month. So it gives some interest. And as they use their credit card and we can understand how they're paying the credit card, then they are they're enabled by a great team to be offered higher credits, not just the credit card, but also cash products. So those are the three main reasons that we are spending money.
Okay, here's a question. This is actually a really good question, and maybe you don't know the answer just yet. But the question is there an opportunity to run A/B tests and use the data to measure outcomes? That's a question that comes up often with these types of opportunities. I think that's definitely something you'd want to include in your proposal if that's of interest. It's from Santosh. So,
yeah,
but are you open to that?
We definitely want to do. We want to work with you. We want to find some insights or some predictive models, anything that may arise from this partnership. We are more than happy to test it out and measure the results. And if it works well, just put it into production. Yeah.
Okay. That's most of the questions. If we didn't respond to any of these, we can respond offline after the presentation. Someone did ask about who can participate in this. So these are academics, faculty from any university, but typically not companies or other centers, but could be affiliated with a center, certainly, but any university. Oh, do you collect social media data? That's interesting.
We don't have it in the single customer view, but I think it shouldn't be so hard to gather it. So if there's some good use for it, we could definitely try to gather. I don't know how much information we have stored, but we could look for it and merge it with the transactional data. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not sure we could gather that information, but I'm not sure if we are going to be able to link it at the customer level.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Let's keep moving. Any other questions? Feel free to follow up via email. We'll get to those. So if you register for this webinar, you're going to receive other announcements about our some other opportunities that we'll have. Our upcoming research projects are at that link there, the first bullet. Any research papers that have come out of AIAB related to any projects and data sets that we have provided at that second link there, second bullet. To sign up for updates, you can access our Contact Us page. And then, of course, again, feel free to email us at aiab-research@wharton.upenn.edu. Thank you very much, Ivan. Thanks for joining us and providing all of that useful background information for the projects. To the researchers, good luck on your proposals. Again, reach out with any questions at all in the next 2 or more weeks before you submit your proposal. And have a great day and a great weekend.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.